Now, Legends of Tomorrow, part of the larger DC Arrowverse on the CW, they recently debuted their Series 2 finale, Aruba. Now, as a geek, I have seen it, and here are my personal thoughts of it. The basic synopsis of it is that with the world now, with reality having been changed by the Legion of Doom, the Legends realise they're going to have to go back in time and kind of interact with their younger souls in order to kind of fix what went wrong. Essentially breaking their first rule of time. So after managing to get in contact with Rip Hunter and re-enlarge the Wave Rider, they travel back to the Battle of the Somme, where they have to kind of interact with their younger selves as well as face off against the Legion of Doom. They eventually manage to incapacitate Malcolm Merlyn, Damien Dark, and Captain Cold, while in the process the older versions of the team are killed. Until eventually they manage to get the Spear of Destiny, get near to the end, where eventually Eobard Thawne shows up. Shows up with his speedster powers in an attempt to stop them. Sarah uses the spear and manages to see a brief glimpse of her sister, Laura Lance, played by Kate Cassidy, before Eobard manages to get the spear. However, Sarah reveals that she both made the spear kind of defunct, redundant, and also released the Black Flash, who subsequently turns up and kills Eobard Thawne. Subsequently, the team returns Malcolm Merlyn, Damien Dark, and Captain Cold to their respective places in history, and also wipes their memories, before they and Rip Hunter decides to leave the team, before the team heads off to Aruba, where they suddenly find themselves falling out of the timeline and realising that their meddling in time has actually done quite bad things, as Los Angeles is teeming with a load of other buildings that weren't there before, and also full of dinosaurs. So, yeah. For an end to Season 2, it's a great ending. I personally loved it. I mean, the moment when Eobard got killed, Eobard is not the worst villain that's come out of the Arrowverse, and by that I mean the most evil. I mean, he was a startup for the Flash series. He was the evil one who Barry had to face off against, and Barry he's always been a kind of constant in the Flash, kind of appearing once in each series. So yeah, but just after seeing all the evil things he did in Legends, finally see the Black Flash finally kill Eobard Thawne. Just after everything evil he'd done, I felt that was a suitable fate for Eobard. Just that moment where Black Flash it's brutal. I'll say that. That's all I'll say. It's brutal. Meanwhile, with the others, there are a few things that maybe I thought could have been done a little better, such as in the episode before Doomworld, the episode that came before Aruba, that was kind of setting up everything for Doomworld and Aruba, that I feel with Aruba they could have used J.R.R. Tolkien, as he was supposedly a character whom they encountered during the Battle of the Somme. I feel like they could have used him a little bit better. Maybe used him a bit more in this episode, so that with everything he'd seen, he decided, right, that's it, I'm going off to write. But it was a nice little addition. Same as they had with seemingly George Lucas earlier in the series. Before this episode was coming, I made a prediction about the Legion of Doom, or what should happen to them. I didn't know particularly at the time for Damien or Leonard Snart what would happen to them. I knew Eobard would probably have to face the Black Flash, but Malcolm Merlyn I felt should be returned to the ordinary reality, and in the end he is. Just because in my view, in the modern reality, Malcolm Merlyn is already in hell. His power over the League of Assassins is gone, his wife and son are both dead, his daughter despises him, and her brother has him on a short leash. He is in hell. And I'm very glad that's what they did. Maybe they'll bring him back for Arrow season 6. I don't know, but plus with Sarah letting Damien live, that was something I was a little unsure about, but it did work out fairly well, showing that Sarah was, from seeing her sister, Sarah finally became at peace with letting Damien live, knowing that in the end he was going to be killed by Green Arrow. That was very nice. With Arthur Darvill leaving the series, kind of Rip Hunter at the very end says that he's taught Sarah everything that she needs to know, everything he can, and he's off to pastures new. She's the new captain of the team. Arthur Darvill, I feel, he's had enough time travel to last him a lifetime, even if the shows he's done aren't anything really to do with time travel. I mean, in everything I've seen of him over the last few years, I only know one thing he did that wasn't somehow time travel related, and that was his role as Mephistopheles in the 2011 Globe Theatre production of Dr. Faustus. Everything else, he was in Doctor Who from 2010 until 2012. Then he went off and did Broadchurch, which, well, on the face of it, doesn't have anything to do with time travel. It does feature 2 former Doctor Who actors, Olivia Newman and David Tennant. So I kind of drew a link from that. And then with Legends of Tomorrow, he's about the 5th, previous Doctor Who actor that joined the show, and just, if he wants to quit time travel, I'm not going to push him to do more time travel. I loved his role in the series. I loved that he was the captain of the team originally, and just, he wasn't in the show that much this year because he had to go off to do Broadchurch, but if he wants to leave, I'm not going to push him to stay long. I mean, it would be nice if he came back, but I'm not going to push him for more. One thing that I did think was nice was that in the last few minutes of the episode, I thought, I saw that Vixen, Maya, was kind of packing up her stuff to return to 1942, and I thought, oh, come on, don't do what they did with Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Don't make her just in for this series. But I'm glad that both her and Nate, Steele, are sticking around. It would be nice to see what they will bring to the show, if done a bit more. I mean, essentially, Jax was brought in to replace Ronnie Raymond, and he just grown into his worth. So I'm glad the 2 are sticking around. Show a bit more. Finally, the last thing I have to talk about is the very ending. The ending right at the end of the episode, where you see what's kind of planned for them for Series 3. Now, this one, I don't think it's as good as this last year, but it is more what I'd expect from a show about time travels and superheroes. And that is that with all their meddling in time, it's eventually going to catch up with them, and that's essentially what this is. They arrive in Los Angeles 2017, and everything has just gone wrong. Series 1, that had something that I wasn't expecting. It got me genuinely excited for Series 2. And that was the appearance of Rex Tyler, Our Man, a member of the Justice Society of America. Now, I knew they were never going to do the Justice League, as, well, they don't have the necessary rights to do that, but the Justice Society I always thought was kind of fairly high up, even if they were kind of fairly low-key. But, yeah, I mean, that was a big one, and to be honest, the Series 2 finale was more in line with what I'd expect from a show about time travel and DC Comics. Just, they've been time travelling way too much, stopping aberrations, and eventually, as a result of their time meddling, something has gone wrong. So, yeah, it not quite as good as the first series finale, but you know what? It's got me excited anyway for Series 3, Season 3, just to see how they're going to fix everything out. So, yeah, let's just hoping that something comes up later in 2017 and we can get another good season out of them. Well, that's all for now. See ya.